We all are familiar with rusting of iron. Do you know what is rust and how it is formed? Iron reacts with oxygen and water vapors present in the air to form rust. Rust is chemically an oxide of iron. It is an example of a reaction of a metal with oxygen, and it is a chemical property of metals. Generally, metals are reactive in nature. They lose electrons easily and form positively charged ions. That is why metals are called electropositive elements. In the chemical properties of metals, we will learn about their reaction with oxygen, water, and acids, etc. Almost all metals react with oxygen to form metal oxides. But metals like gold and platinum do not react with oxygen because they are noble metals. Let us perform an experiment to check the reactivity of different metals with oxygen. Take some metals such as sodium, magnesium, zinc, and iron. With the help of tongue, hold the sample of each metal at the top of the flame of a burner. Notice, sodium metal reacts with oxygen of air and forms sodium oxide at room temperature. It burns with a yellow flame. Magnesium metal reacts with oxygen and forms magnesium oxide on heating. It catches fire and burns with a dazzling white flame. Zinc metal reacts with oxygen on strong heating and forms zinc oxide. It burns with a bright bluish flame. Iron metal does not burn in air even on strong heating. So, we can conclude that metals react with oxygen on heating in air and form metal oxides. Note that iron filings burn vigorously when sprinkled in the flame of a burner. Sodium and potassium are very reactive metals. Therefore, to prevent accident, they are kept in kerosene. Some metal oxides are soluble in water. They react with water to form alkali. For example, sodium oxide and magnesium oxide react with water to form sodium hydroxide and magnesium hydroxide respectively. Let us find out how metals react with water. Most of the metals react with water to form metal hydroxides and hydrogen gas. The intensity of reaction of metal with water depends on its chemical reactivity. Some metals react with cold water, some react with hot water, some react only with steam, whereas others do not react even with steam. This can be understood clearly with the help of an experiment. Take samples of some metals like calcium, aluminium, iron, and zinc. Drop a piece of each of the metal in separate beakers filled with cold water. You will notice that calcium reacts with cold water slowly and less vigorously. The hydrogen gas thus released collects on the surface of the metal in the form of bubbles, and the metal floats on water. The metals like aluminium, iron, and zinc do not react with cold or hot water, but they react with steam to form their oxides with the liberation of hydrogen gas. So, we can conclude that calcium reacts with cold water, whereas metals like aluminium, iron, and zinc do not react with cold or hot water, but they react with steam. Note that sodium and potassium metals react violently with cold water and liberate hydrogen gas. The metals like silver, gold, and platinum do not react with water. Let us understand how metals react with acids. Most of the metals react with acids to produce hydrogen gas and the respective salt. Metals react with dilute hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid to give metal chlorides and metal sulfates respectively. Is the reactivity of all the metals equal? No. Some metals are more reactive than others. When aluminium, magnesium, iron, and zinc react with dilute sulfuric or hydrochloric acid separately, then corresponding sulfate or chloride salts of metals are formed with the liberation of hydrogen gas. The reactivity of these metals can be indicated by the following sequence. Remember that copper does not react with dilute hydrochloric acid or sulfuric acid even on heating, but it reacts with nitric acid and concentrated sulfuric acid. Do you know that nitric acid on reaction with active metals does not produce hydrogen gas? It is because of the strong oxidizing nature of nitric acid. Metals react with dilute nitric acid and form various oxides of nitrogen according to the concentration of nitric acid and reactivity of the metal. However, very dilute nitric acid reacts with magnesium and manganese to produce hydrogen gas. Metals like gold and platinum do not react with acids. These metals only react with aqua regia. Aqua regia is a freshly prepared mixture of 1 part of concentrated nitric acid and 3 parts of concentrated hydrochloric acid. It is a highly corrosive and fuming liquid. It can dissolve all metals, even noble metals such as gold and platinum. So, we can say that almost all metals react with oxygen, water and acids. Therefore, we can say that metals are reactive elements.